What's up, YouTube? This is Harvey 1997 here, coming at you today with my post-Banlist Pendulum Magician deck profile. So there's a couple things I want to go over here. This is just from my locals, but regardless, I went 6-0 with it today, and I'm feeling pretty happy with it. So yeah, I'm going to go over the main and extra. I'm also going to go over the side. I normally don't on this channel, because it's kind of whatever your meta is for the time. However, since the meta hasn't really shown much, I am going to show it. There's also some specific things in here. So, yeah. Some other things I would like to point out. Oh, and I guess this was under the new ban list, if that wasn't clear. Got this wonderful Yu-Gi-Oh! Day mat today. So happy with it. I've won a couple of sneak peek mats before, but never quite got the Yu-Gi-Oh! Day mats. I've always came second around those times, so very happy with this one. So anyway, on to the main deck. It is 40 cards even. We are running 3 copies of Astrograph Sorcerer and 1 Stargazer Magician. And alongside them, the 3 copies of Chronograph and the 1 Time Gazer Magician. Obviously Astro is better, but Time Gazer is just significantly better than Stargazer is. Regardless, I've seen some people talk about not playing this because they'd rather have Astro get his main effects. But it came way, way too much in clutch to cut. For example, in the last round of the day, I wound up actually scaling Astro, pop it to to special summon Star, and then I activated the Astro in my hand to get my third Astro from my deck to my hand. So I had this on board, and made Electromite, and it was nuts. It was just wonderful. So yeah. Sorcerers, they're pretty standard. Then the actual Magicians, the 2 level 6 Oath Dragon, he's pretty solid. I wouldn't run less than 2. He's good for Naruto plays as well. And then we have our level 4s, our low scales in 3 Purple Poison Magician, and our high scales, Wisdom Eye, who is also a low scale if you can have these out in the deck. Then our 3 Black Fangs, and 3 Harmonizing Magicians. These were obviously all solid. It is very, very noticeable how fast you can run out of Magicians if you're not being careful, because without Double Iris, those extra 3 targets are just so noticeable for when you're turboing out with your Wisdom and Harmonizing. Yeah, don't let yourself burn out on Magicians too quickly. It can happen. Next up, running 2 copies of Luster Pendulum and Draco Slayer. I wasn't sure about this, because honestly, it was a last-minute decision, but I'm very, very pleased with it. I loved it at 2 for the most part. I did actually wind up siding the second one out several times, but that's just because it was more like a flex slot, I felt. But I liked it at 2 a lot in the main. It's a very good combo starter, helps you get some pluses, it's pretty solid. The last Pendulum I'm playing is 1 Abyss Actor Curtain Raiser. Just 1, because he's a once per duel. He only came up, I think, twice, but yeah, it is what it is. I also wound up siding him out a lot too, just because he's an easy one-of that's easy to side out when you know for a fact you're going second, just because he's not that great against breaking a board, so yeah. Yeah, that was it though. And then our only non-Pendulum monster we're playing, that is a monster, is our 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Obviously no Maxi, you can't say 1 Maxi anymore, it's going to be weird not having that in my deck lists anymore. But I was fine with just 3 Ashes. I never felt like I needed more hand traps or anything in here. It was good as it was. And then we move on to spells. Playing 3 copies of Duelist Alliance. I was not sure about this going into it. In fact, I did wind up cutting the third one. Not cutting, but siding it out a lot. Especially when going second. And I can't use it to get Time Graph to build up a board. But I still think it's necessary at 3 in the main, when you're not sure if you're going first or second especially, because it's too necessary to help get to your Time Graph when you go first. And another kind of last-minute change I made, I'm going to put on a trap with here as well, are 2 targets for this. Obviously Luster is a target as well, but these are what we mainly search. 1 Star and 1 Time. I was running 2 of each of these, and I was even considering 3 Time Graph, but to be completely honest, I was perfectly fine with 3 Alliance and 1 of each of these. I never felt like I needed more. It just seemed perfect. I think I'm going to leave it exactly like that for the next, or not certain, but as for today, this seemed to work perfectly. Not running Pendulum Call. I was thinking about the Dark Worm build, and I might go back to that later, but as for now, I liked it how it was. Then we were playing 3 copies of Wavering Eyes in the main deck. Incredible. I do not regret this at all. There was one game against a Blue Eyes player where it felt cloggy because I opened 2 of them. It is what it is, though. It didn't really do much against him. I still won that game. I did win the match after, but that game was a lot rougher when I opened 2 of them. But even so, it's worth it so much, especially if the meta winds up being mostly Pendulum Magician. It'll be just that much better. Then we have our 1 copy of Monster Reborn. I haven't had the chance to say this in the deck profile aside from my May 2002 profiles. Feels nice to say Monster Reborn's legal again. I'd show you my OCG artwork, but it's sitting in the binder because I'm not playing that thing anytime soon. But yeah, 1 copy of Monster Reborn. It was incredible. Bringing back Electromite with this thing is nuts. Bringing back things like Astrograph just to push for extra damage if you have to, like after it went to grave from an Xyz material. You can bring back things like Time Star, whatever. And also, bringing back opponents' cards like ABC Dragon Buster is off the wall. Busted. Monster Reborn's so good. That's 37 cards, and you're probably thinking, well, what's left? Spells and monsters are done. And you just showed the time graph, so that's it, right? Well, that's not true. I decided to go with 3 evenly matched in the main deck today. I'm kind of iffy on this, to be honest. I literally never saw this in singles. I saw doubles or triples of this card every time. Anytime I saw this card at least once, I had a 2nd copy or a 3rd copy alongside it. I might cut it down to 2 in the main, but being in the main deck, it was wonderful. I'm definitely going to leave it in the main deck. I might cut it to 2, but I liked it. I liked it a lot. Onto the extra deck. Playing 2 copies of Heavy Metal Foes Electromite. Obviously, he's incredible. Not honestly certain I went into the second one more than once or twice, but I think it's still necessary because it's good for those really, really wonky combos, and just to give you that extra insurance in case they, can break the second one and you need the second. But it didn't really come up too much today. And then the only other ink we're playing is 1 Decode. I originally actually had a Underclock Taker and a Borreload in here with 1 Electromite, just because I didn't have the second one. I pulled it today. I got lucky. But yeah, I felt like this was enough for links. I never wanted more. But I did make Decode a lot today. Not as much as Electromite, obviously, but yeah. I went into him several times. Now we'll go to our Xyzs. Our rank 4s to start have Tornado Dragon. Awesome. Baguska. You know how Baguska is. It wasn't as good as I wished he was, to be honest. I might cut him. I hate to say that, but he's probably the first thing to go in this extra deck. Just because everything else has a slot for a reason. And he does, but I feel like this next card can replace him. That being Evil Swarm Nightmare. This card was great the couple of times I used it. He's a very good rank 4 to start with. Another really good last-minute decision was 1 copy of Time Star Magician. I originally had cut it, and I wasn't going to play it, but man, this thing was incredible. Doing the first turn plays with this, so that I was making the standard play was typically making Decode Talker, Time Star, and Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon into turning Absolute and Electromite into a Decode Talker, then making Vortex with this and Time Graph. That was incredible. That was probably my favorite opening of the day, and I did it several times because of it. So yeah, Time Star was just great. So glad I put it in last second. Supreme King Dark Rebellion, I never made him, but I feel like he's too necessary for like random rogue decks and for punching for good amounts of damage. I do think you have to run him or the Utopia package just because. Though I didn't make him today, I think in a longer event you should have one. That's it for the rank 4s. Now rank 6, 1 Naruto, and rank 7, 1 Absolute. They were just fine. Made this way more than I made Naruto, but it is what it is. I didn't open Chronograph that many times. Or not open with Harmonizing anyway. So, yeah, then to go with the Absolute, we have our 1 copy of Odd Eye's Vortex Dragon. Our only other fusion in the deck is Supreme King Starving Venom. I didn't make him as much as I thought I would, but nonetheless, he was very good the few times he did come up, and I definitely think he warrants his slot. Then our Synchros, which I actually didn't make these anywhere near as much as I thought I would. Clearwing, I never had a reason to make it. I had one potential time I would have, but the guy scooped before I did, so it didn't matter. Omega, it was decent a couple of times, but it was never, like, amazing, I guess. And Ignister, this card was a blowout in a couple of the games. This was incredible, especially with having Lusters in the deck. I actually did use a Luster and another monster in a grind game. I had to normal summon Luster and swing. The next turn I normal summoned Black Fang, synchro the 2 of them into Ignister, special Luster from the deck, pop Luster, and I shuffled his anti-spell, so I could actually play Yu-Gi-Oh! It was pretty wonderful. So yeah, Ignister, definitely, like, the MVP of the Synchro package today. So, that is it for the extra and the main. Now for the side. 2 Humongous. Never saw it. Not the entire day. I sighted in a few times, but never drew it. I was playing 3 Gammas and 1 Driver. However, because I knew I had these in here in case I was playing against people who had Ashes. However, the only times I was playing against people who had Ash, it didn't really feel like they were going to do enough to me. Or, I don't know, I never found the right time to put Gammas in. In a longer event, a higher tier event, I think they would go in a lot more. But for now, they didn't. Then we have 3 copies of System Down, because after the ban list, I think ABC is going to be one of the better decks. I'd put it up there with, like, probably the 3rd best, maybe 4th. But, yeah, it's very, very powerful. So System Down was my out to it. Alternatively, Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries with Dragon Buster can be a thing. I don't know, I just think System Down was the right call, though. Also, people are trying to play Cleaforts because Towers came back and Sacrifice is back. So, this can hit Cleaforts as well. Funny. Then, 1 copy of Raigeki. It's Raigeki. What are you going to do? It comes in sometimes, it doesn't other times, you know. 3 copies of Cosmic Cyclone. This was incredible when I had it. Yeah, that's all. You know how the card works. And then 2 copies of Unending Nightmare, of which I sighted in a couple times, but literally never drew the entire day, so I couldn't tell you how it was. But yeah, so that's the side deck, and we've already went over the main deck. So yeah, you guys tell me in the comment section below what you think of Pendulum Magician's post-Electromite and post-February 2018 ban list. It's really, really different from how the combos were going, but I like it. I didn't think I was going to. I had a lot of problems with it last night in testing, but I really liked it, and obviously, hey, it got me this pretty sick mat. So, it was worth. You guys tell me in the comment section below what you think about Pendulum Magicians now that we have the new link support and the new ban list. As always, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for all my future content, and I'll catch you in my next video.